In this video, you'll learn about the different types of companies and how they're structured. Welcome to The Alchemist. This video is a beginner's guide with some information on what companies are and how they work. I'm going to cover the most common types of companies. So let's get started. But first, let's discuss what a company is. A company is an association of people with the common goal to achieve success through unity. Companies come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, but they always have three main components: leadership roles for those who want them, shareholders that provide funding support from their investments such as shares or bonds which represent ownership interests within a firm's assets, e.g., factories, and lastly, employees working at one location doing work-specific tasks committed upon hiring date by contract terms. There are different types of companies based on different factors. Let's discuss the types of companies based on the number of members. Number 1. Private company. The private company is a legal entity that can be owned by fewer than 20 investors, and does not have to register public stock shares. It has a separate legal entity, owned by the people who own it. This means that if you were going to create shares of stock for this business, and sell them on public markets like Wall Street, then they wouldn't be available in any recognizable form, as each investor would represent part ownership with every purchase. Number 2. Public company. A public limited company is a shareholding organization listed on the stock exchange, that trades its shares publicly. A public limited company must have a minimum number of members, which is mandatory by the company law. It can operate as an unlimited number, and it publishes its financial position to determine worth for investors in stocks traded openly on markets with limited liability held by shareholders, potentially only what they paid if anything happens to them due to their shares ownership. Number 3. Single member company. A company can be run as a one-person business, with virtually the entirety of its share capital held by an individual. This is known as personal ownership, and occurs both in private companies where only 2 members exist, or for public quoted ones. Now let's go through the types of companies based on the liability of the members. Number 1. Company limited by shares. A company limited by shares is a legal entity which has the rights of its own and the liabilities of its own, separate from its members. The liability of each member of such a company is limited to the amount unpaid on their shares. A company limited by shares must be registered as such with Registrar of Companies. Number 2. Company limited by guarantee. A company limited by guarantee is a special type of business entity that can be created through the process of setting up an agreement. This document records members' promises to contribute money in case their venture should go belly up. Number 3. Unlimited company. Unlimited company is a type of business that has no limit to the liability of its members. It can therefore be difficult to determine how unlimited companies work, especially because they are so different from limited companies, which have shareholders and directors. An unlimited company can also sometimes be referred to as a non-limited or private unlimited company. Besides the types of companies based on liabilities and number members, there are some other types of companies as well. Number 1. Holding company. A holding company is a business that has control of another. The affiliate which it exercises this power over becomes known as the subsidiary or division in question, depending on whether they have more than one such company under their banner at once. A company is deemed to be under the control of another if it controls more than 50% in composition of board members or owns at least half its equity shares. Number 2. Subsidiary company. A subsidiary company is a legal entity that exists under the control and ownership of another, more prominent business. Parent companies can have many subsidiaries, acting as fronts for it in different parts of the world with diverse goals. Sometimes they might use these front operations to hide proprietary information from other parent firms or competitors, who are trying hard enough to get their hands on such knowledge. Number 3. Joint ventures. A joint venture is a company that has been formed between 2 or more entities, with the goal of achieving success on both sides. This can range anywhere from 50-50 ownership all the way down to just one party owning part, while another holds management rights in order for them to achieve their own goals together as well. Number 4. Offshore companies. Offshore companies operate outside the country they're headquartered. These entities can be formed in a variety of different ways, but most often will have more flexibility when it comes to things like tax laws and regulations than their domestic counterparts do. This means that there are fewer strings tied up with red tape if you want your company operating freely, without any unnecessary constraints on its ability to perform well as an individual or business venture. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon for more videos like that. Tell us in the comments section about how much you liked the video, and any topic that you would like to hear from us. Thank you, from The Alchemist.